take a look here.
I'm not looking at your phone. My God.
Chuck, why are 3 people on one camera instead of 3 cameras?
Right? I was just gonna make
Chuck just wants to look like a pimp.
I know. I was just gonna make a comment like, "Hey, you got a nice office over there."
You know,
Are we interviewing him?
this one doesn't have a camera. She doesn't have a camera.
I think we should interview you, bro.
Interview me.
Yes, Chuck. How does Chuck do it?
There you go. I want to get to your level. Look at this. Empty, man.
We have one more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't.
Chuck is social distancing in a different way.
Yeah. True. All right, let's get started.
All right, go ahead, take it away,
all
Chuck.
Notifications on YouTube, on the Facebook group.
I love it.
All right, so let's go ahead, Chuck. Take it away.
Chuck, take it away.
You want me to take it away? I feel like you can give a better intro.
All right. Well, first of all, let's welcome everyone to our 12th episode of Rubbing Elbows. We have the amazing Andres. Andres and I go back quite a while. He is the founder of Sync Brokerage. They have now expanded into another location. And Andres, thank you for taking the time. It doesn't go unnoticed that you're going to actually, we know that you're super busy and that your team is partying right now, and that's difficult to be away from.
No, they're actually prospecting.
Prospecting with margaritas. But thank you for taking the time to join us. Welcome to our episode. If you could just share with us kind of the story of how Andres got into real estate.
Let's start. Thank you for the invite. Definitely this is an honor to kind of share a little bit more about me, the company, and so on. How we got to where we at, which is it has been a journey of 10 years. I used to work in Robbie Max. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Robbie Max in Sherman Oaks. It was right there on, I think that was Van Nuys and Ventura Boulevard next to the Pita Kitchen.
Wait, hold on. I have to stop you. I'm sorry. Did you say you worked for Robbie Mack?
Yeah, bro. I was the delivery guy. I was the cook. I was the cleaner. I was the register guy.
So was I. I was also a Robbie Mack employee, delivery, cook, everything.
But this show is not about you, Chuck.
No, I can't believe I haven't talked to him at Robbie Mack.
Yeah, so that's when I started. I actually got that job by taking the bus and totally unemployed, and I just walked into that restaurant. I told, hey, I need a job. So the guy told me, hey, can you come in tomorrow morning 9 o'clock? So they taught me how to cook, and I was there for I think 6 years until I met my wife, and she was completely settled down making money, and that was kind of my motivation to get out of the hole. And as I was going out in a club in Glendale, I was waiting for my car, and this guy came to me and he approached me. He told me if I wanted to get into real estate. So it was truly by accident. I didn't know real estate. None of my family has been in real estate, and completely detached from this industry. So it was by accident. And, in a moment of desperation, looking for an answer to make money and get out of, making pizza, delivering pizzas, and, working at the register, I took the interview and I went to Montebello, and I started kind of as an assistant for 8 months, right at the end of 2008, until I met Marty Azule, Diana Alone, 2009, and I started working, for them as an assistant with their company. And so I learned the business. I work around the clock, 14, 16 hours. I was putting lock boxes all the way to Big Bear, to all the way in California City for $50,000. I was hustling and working my way up showing properties for $700 commission until I got my license in 2011. Built my team, became the top producer agent for, I think, 3 years. And then, looking for the next challenge. And I got involved on managing an office, running and recruiting agents. Still active as, as a producing agent until 2017, when I kind of saw, how Amazon got in the marketplace, got rid of Toys R Us and many other retail players. Uber came into place and took over the taxi business. And I think I had a vision about real estate, how technology was going to impact these big companies, where the square footage of the office didn't make sense to me, and having 300 agents didn't make sense to me either. So truly, I wanted to open a company where I can work for. So I opened a company for myself, where I got the culture, I got the support, I got the environment, and slowly we started building systems. And it's been a whole journey. And now we have 62 agents, 2 locations, and one of the best technology platforms that we built. So it has been a journey for the last 10 years, ups and downs, crying and laughing, and going against, the odds. And we're still doing it.
Can we talk a little bit about the technology that you implement with your team, with in your 2 offices?
So one of my visions was I wanted to work for a brokerage where I get marketing, lead generation, a CRM, access to data, exposure, branding, SEO, all of this. And so when I opened Sync, we started by building a very sexy and engaging website. That was the first thing. I didn't want to have a website where you have either the Hispanic or African-American family in front of a house with a for sale sign. To me, that was very standard and boring. So I wanted to build something different where people can learn about LA, our culture, and have fun. And so we built that. And then I started flying throughout, the nation, like New York, Florida, different places, learning about technology. And we plug in a lead generation system. We built our own marketing platform where every agent gets access to pretty much anything you can think about marketing. And it is connected to the MLS. So, 3 clicks, you already have your marketing done. And so we built that. At the end of 2018, we got approached by Compass to buy us out. And so that to me was kind of like the wake up call, because they told me, that I didn't know what I had, but, certainly I had some kind of value. So that was kind of the motivation for me to, if I have this, maybe I can build it to a bigger level and get more money 5 years from now. So we completely destroyed that platform. We put it away, and I hired new people, new coding people, developers. And I had this idea of, hey, this is what I want. And I want everything to be in one dashboard, communicating from the lead generation, my own CRM, marketing, access to data, website, pushing SEO, and a business coach, everything in one dashboard connected. And so we got this company in the East Coast. It's actually here, not in China, not in India, not in Colombia. So it's a national company. And they help us building this cool platform that we have right now. And we launched that system October 9, 2019. And as of right now, I am confident to say that it's better technology than Compass and EXP. And since we launched the technology platform, we've been able to grow a lot.
So Andres, let me ask you, when you, because I know you do a lot of meetings for your company, even years ago when I came to your office, you were all about having these meetings, these motivational talks with your agents. What do you do to motivate your agents nowadays?
Um, I don't believe in motivation, to be honest. I tell them I think motivation is full of crap. I think that in order to succeed, you have to be self-motivated. All I do is being the leader and being able to be there for my agents and support them with anything they need, coach them and guide them and really push them. I'm a ball buster. I like to push people to tap their full potential. So I don't see that as motivation. It's more about like, hey, you got two choices. You can either go this direction and make it, or you can stay in this direction and be part of the 80-90% of the people that are complainers. So that's what it is. And so when you really break it down into like two simple choices, most likely whoever is driven and have that fire to make it, they'll choose this option, which is, let me go with the 10%. So a lot of accountability.
Very good. And so let me ask you, in terms of tactics right now, are you guys over at Sync? I know that other than technology, you're doing a lot of things differently in terms of attracting listings and buyers and things of that nature. Can you talk a little bit about how you get your agents that are new onto the team, how you get them started, and what do you expect of them to do?
Right. So I think that from 2017, when we built the company, we were building this company thinking about the future. And until today, what I'm doing now with the team, we're thinking 2 years ahead, because whatever you and I were doing now, 3 months from today is going to be old. So I think that the way we operate is thinking about, what is it going to take place in 2 years from now, and thinking about the consumer behavior. So that is one thing that I think that as salespeople, professionals, we need to consider is understanding the consumer behavior and how time is important for people. And so when I have a new agent coming on board with Sync, I am not a huge promoter of sending postcards and door knocking. I think that is very old school, and especially now through a pandemic, nobody wants to see your face at the doorstep. So part of the technology that we build is giving access to the agents to get any data. So if I put your property address, I can get up to 15,000 homeowners near your house. That will give me first name, last name, cell phone, landline, property address, and email address. What do? We create a marketing campaign that goes straight to your email address, and then we can always go back and track how many people engage with the content we send, who actually open my email, and retarget that people by a text message that I can also see who opened my text message and call them. Hey, thank you for opening my email. Thank you for opening my text. I'm actually following up to see if you have any questions. So it's a different way to market yourself, whether you're a brand new agent or someone that has been doing it for 20 years. I think that nowadays, with all the technology that we have on the table, we are, a new agent and an experienced agent they have the same opportunity to make business.
I want to throw a next question at you. And this is just a reoccurring question we ask every guest, just with what's going on and what we're going through. Where do you see the market, in your position of having agents under you and hearing, success stories and complaints and, all the different angles of the market? Where do you see it going? Where do you think it's heading?
I think that complaints, you will always see it, and it doesn't matter what market. Good market, bad market, you will always find complainers. And success stories, you will always find those people that will succeed in a good market, down market. I think, in my opinion, is it doesn't matter what market we're going through, whether it goes up, down, sideways. What matter is the skills that you have, the knowledge that you have, and the understanding of where things are going, and just being able to embrace what's coming, in a good way, and look at the opportunities instead of looking at the challenges. So that being said, right now we all know the market is pretty healthy. I think that the market is pretty stable. I mean, interest rates are super low, which is, motivating buyers to go and buy a house, people to refinance, get cash out and buy a second home and invest. Sellers, I mean, the lack of inventory is actually creating kind of like a desirable market for sellers to get top dollar, multiple offers. We still see that. I think, and the other thing is, even though we went through a pandemic, and even though March and April, the production went down, when you track the price per square foot on a house, it actually sold 3 to 4% over the asking price. So if I list my house at $395 per square feet, I ended up selling it for $415, $410 because of the multiple offers and the lack of inventory. If this continues going the same direction, I think that by the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, we're going to see an appreciation on values by maybe 2%. I know, we're also investing, so we were hoping for a crash. I don't know, to be honest, it's so hard to determine the future, but if we continue going this direction, I don't see that happening, but I do see a lot of opportunities where homeowners that they cannot afford the mortgage payment, they got laid off, they don't have a job, they close their business, they're going to be in a situation that they can sell their property before, they lose it. They still have equity. So this is, bringing opportunities for that, people with money, investors. So if we continue going this direction, I see only positive. Now, actually this morning with my team, we were talking about, what about if we go in a second stay home order for a second time? Then I think everything will shift, because now you have more people closing down businesses, whether they're essential or not, restaurants, bars, hotels, everything that is going to impact the economy. And that has a domino effect that most likely is going to affect the economy. And I don't know if they're going to do a second incentive, the government is going to do a second incentive for businesses and people. And so you're going to have a lot of homeowners going behind on the mortgage payment for not 6 months, but maybe 12 months. And even though they get, the forbearance plan, that is money that at some point will have to be paid. So either it's going to go into the arrears of the loan, which is going to, affect the equity that you have, or they're going to finance that in the next 12 months mortgage payments, which is going to increase by probably 20-25%. And if you don't have a job, then what else you have, as an option? I still have a little bit of equity. Let me sell my house, get the money that I can right now, and just start over. So I think that it all depends what happens in the next 90 to 120 days.
I also read this morning, I think they just extended the moratorium on evictions till September. So that's obviously going to, so that's going to push back any results we see, because all the hits that people are taking today, we're not going to see for 9 to 12 months from now. So,
which in my opinion, that's kind of like a Band-Aid, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay that money. And if I ended up owning the bank 40, 50 grand, somehow I need to pay them. So whether it's the next 12 months or put it in the arrears, which is killing 50,000 of my equity. So I think the next 120 days will be critical for what's coming.
I have a question for you regarding recruitment, because you got.
I love it, man. I'm a promoter of COVID-19.
So in regards to you getting 62 agents now, what do you say to get them to be like, you know what, I'm going to come on board. I'm going to leave, X brokerage that's, a household name, and I'm going to take my chances with Sync. That is anybody who's done business with your guys, with your, in my experience working with agents that work for Sync, they're very, they want to get the deal done. They're, I haven't really experienced, ego tripping or things like that. Just very easygoing agents. And does that come down to how you recruit?
Culture. Number one, any company, whether you sell shoes, tacos, or real estate or loans, culture is number one thing. And Even if you give me 100%, if I don't like your culture, I'll move on to the next company. So number one is culture. Once they come on, once they come to Sync and they interview, they love the culture. I don't promote ego. I think that by default, real estate is an egocentric industry. And so I myself, every day I try to be, very connected to the ground, because whatever you have now, you can lose it in, 24 hours. So I'm very connected to the ground, and I work on making sure that our agents are also down to earth, not ego driven. But when it comes down to recruiting, is number one is culture. Number two is something that I said 3 years ago, and actually I uploaded a video on YouTube, which it was the big label companies, they have a non-sustainable business model, for the fact that if you have a 6,000 square feet office and 300 agents and employees and running systems, you're running a 75 to 150,000 overhead a month. And when only 15 to 20% of the agents are producing every month, then you're not making money really from commissions other than fees. And when the market changes and shifts and there is a recession or something like COVID-19 that nobody was expecting, agents will start, the productivity will slow down. And so as a broker, as a company owner, you cannot charge fees, which is going to impact your income, right, to run that company. And at some point, when you have 200 agents, you only see less than 10% or 15% at the office utilizing your space. That's when you realize, hey, what I have doesn't actually make sense. So I need to downsize, restructure my business. And that's what, bigger companies like Coldwell Banker and so other companies are doing now, downsizing, getting rid of the leases that they can get rid of, within the next 12 months, and go with the hybrid mode, which is like smaller office, more technology, better quality, and really focusing on the agents that are producing and they are full-time. So that has been one of the things that we did from the beginning. I don't want 200 agents. Let me focus on 15, 20% of the industry, which is the people that are making money and serious about this as a career. So we go that direction. And once we show them the technology platform and access to generate so much business, and I mean, if I'm broke and I join my company, all I have to do is just invest my time to make money. And I have proven this with many agents that within the next 90 days, I can close at least one to two escrows. So once they see the value of what we offer, the culture, the support, the training, and everything else, honestly, it just makes sense to join. So it allows us to pick and choose the people and the quality of people that we want.
Very nice.
What about, sorry, Leo, I know you have a question, but I have to ask the same question applied to sellers. Meeting with a seller and saying, give me your listing, versus giving the listing to, some big name
Right.
broker.
Competing with big labels. Again, it boils down to who I am, what I know, and what I can do for you as a homeowner. My experience, my expertise, and what I do different than the 90% of the industry that is going to help me sell in your house. So once the homeowner sees everything we do and the way we market properties, then the decision is very easy. I'll go with you. And obviously, it depends on the agent. It's not even the company. It's not me as Sync. It's not KW, Remax, Compass, you name it. It's the agent. If you're confident of what you know and you have the experience and you're confident about selling that house, it just boils down to you.
So we've been here. I'm going to open it up, by the way, very soon to Q&A. So start thinking of your questions if you have any for Andres. But I wanted to ask you, we hear a lot of stories of, positive things that have come out of this whole COVID and pandemic situation for businesses that they didn't even expect. They got surprised that there was some new positive outcome for their business, for their bottom line. Have you seen anything positive come out of COVID for your business?
Everything.
Can you tell us a little bit?
Everything. I think there is not one thing that is negative about the virus. Like, I love it. I mean, honestly, I love it, bro. Everything is positive. From the point that it taught me a lesson about appreciating what you have, appreciating the little things, appreciating my time with my family, learning that I'm really able to work from anywhere, proving that our technology can actually enable anyone to make money from anywhere. Um, you know, we never stop, even though we were at home for 60, 90 days. From March 11, I started accountability meetings at 9:30 a.m. Until now, we still have them every freaking day. And I mean, the team, they're still connecting. And we do a lot of role playing, coaching, and, out of the sudden, we have a pop question, and I will put you on the spot to see how well prepared you are to answer a question from a client. And so for the last 4 months, we've been just pushing hard that when we opened the offices on May 1st, the productivity just jumped. So I don't see anything negative about the COVID-19 besides all the people that are getting sick and dying. But again, it's the perspective about things. And I'm always looking about the lesson, not how it's impacting me. So I think it's
So the
good.
fact that you've been able to see how much easier it is to work with people remotely than maybe we would have thought before the pandemic. Does that give you any ideas on expanding into new markets?
Absolutely, we're gonna conquer the world. No, absolutely. We're pushing to continue growing the office. We're not. Initially, I was, when I opened Sync, my goal was I just need to stay in business for 6 months because all I had was 30 grand to cover expenses. And 4 months into the business, we started generating money and investing back. And now we're 3 years here, and we have the 2 locations. So now what I'm looking for, and especially with technologies, honestly, just push hard to, number one, expand throughout LA, California, and we actually opened an office in Florida, which it was an accident. But yeah, we're gonna expand the brand, if possible, throughout the nation. So this is an opportunity. Like this meeting, this wouldn't be a conference at the board, but now we're making it happen from my office, from your office, and very convenient for everyone. So time-wise, huge thing. It's a huge thing. It's an asset.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to open it up. Anybody have questions they'd like to ask Andres? Take advantage. Now's your opportunity. Either just raise your hand and we'll unmute you, or send some kind of a notification.
Andreas, you might see a lot of familiar faces here, people you may have worked with before. I see Iris over here. Speaking of working remotely, she's working from San Francisco, as you can see.
I love that.
So think of any questions.
We know one each other for a long time too, right? Andrew, very proud of you.
I've been trying to recruit him for a long time.
Yeah. No, I remember the first offer he gave, but that's good. You're doing so good. I'm so proud. That's why I joined, to say that you're great.
Thank you so much for the support.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that everyone needs to kind of be aware is, there is a lot of negativity in the marketplace, and there is a lot of negativity in the media. So you really need to be selective with the content that you're consuming. And like I said before, just look at the opportunities that, this pandemic is bringing to you instead of the challenges. And I think that will be the approach. How I can take advantage of this. And I can tell you, like 80% of the industry, real estate, 80% of the industry, or at least 70%, they're already disconnected and they're waiting for 2021, and they already slowed down mentally and physically, which is giving us an opportunity to be very active, double down on actions, and take advantage of the market and still make it a great 2020. So there is going to be a lot of people that are slowing down.
So, Amy, I think you have a question. Let's unmute you so you could ask it.
It's a twofer.
So we have 2 there, and then Chuck has 3, 4.
Andreas, what does your crystal ball say about the next 12 months? What does your
Digital.
crystal ball say?
Digital. Everything will be digital. Everything will be digital. I think that, the market is the market, and the market can go different ways. But in terms of how the perception or the behavior will change, I think people will embrace technology better than before. And I think that we all value time more than before. And so the next 12 months, you're going to see everything to go digital.
Thank you for that question. Do we have anyone else that wants to ask a
I
question?
actually have another question that's really for everyone. Is a lot of times we like to kind of align whoever the guest is with the viewers, people that are watching. There's a lot of people that watch after this thing is done with on YouTube or the Facebook group. And by the way, whoever's not on the Facebook group, join. It's Rubbing Elbows on Facebook. So my question is this: if you've got, for example, like we've got Haley over here, right? Haley was here from Portfolio Escrow. We've got Lior that does finances. We've got my team, LA Fixers, that we're constantly looking for off-market opportunities that are, distressed and things like that. How do we align ourselves with Sync in order to, open up that communication, open up the relationship to be able to get, for example, financing for Lior or escrow for this person or fixers off-market opportunities for our brokerage? How do we align ourselves with you?
So I think that at the end of the day, this business is all about networking, right? And supporting each other's businesses, delivering value, and at the end of the day is communication, right? Being in contact all the time, collaborating, helping each other. And if I see an opportunity that I can make money working with Leo or with you, why not, right? So I think that the main thing is being in contact, networking, and in a lot of cases, we are not tapping into all the opportunities that we have because we're not really willing and able to reach out to people and asking, right? I think that asking for is number one thing. Like, hey, Leo, who do you know that is looking to invest, buy or sell, or join a nice company? Send them my way, and I'm going to do the same way with you. It's asking for it. Like, if you're looking for off markets, I will say, send me an email with everything that you're looking for. I'll pass it on to my agents. Whatever they have coming up, I'll tell them to reach out to you directly. So I think that people don't ask because they're afraid of rejection.
I actually love that you say that, because one thing that I've learned very early on, and especially even when we do these kind of things, the asking is the key to everything. You couldn't have said it better. People are always willing to help. It's in our nature. We want to do good. We're just not asked enough.
Dude, the way I met my wife, like, again, she was working in corporate. She was making 75,000. She was 21. I was delivering pizzas, making, I don't know, like $1,600 a month. I was, by default, like, I wasn't that guy for her. And all I did was like, let me ask. What am I going to lose? Nothing. She can say no. So she actually agreed. We went out. 14 years later, we got 2 kids. We're still married. And now I'm look, all I did was asking for it. You never know, man. You never know.
There you go. So that's the tip of the day, is just ask.
And I have actually met a lot of good people and done business with people just by asking. And even if they tell you no, I always come back and ask again. Like, I mean, seriously, how many times can you reject me until you actually give up on yourself and you're like, fuck you, let's do it, just because of the persistence. So I'll ask you over and over until
so on that note, is there anybody else, before we go to the next segment for the win of the week, anybody else want to ask any kind of questions. All right, we have Winston. Let me unmute you. Go ahead, Winston.
Thank you guys, and thank you, Andres, for being here. Just wanted to ask you, what do you see, like, who is that 2021 agent? You know, let's just fast forward to 2021. Who is that agent who is going to be in the top 20? Because like you said earlier, right, though a lot of the agents are falling down, right, on that scale because they've given up, right? So who is the 2021 agent that you see? What would be their best attributes?
I'll say whoever is actually willing to put the effort, double down on the effort, see the opportunities, not being shy, not being scared about what the media has to say, and willing to risk it all. I think that in order to win, you have to risk it all. And just like playing, poker, if you want to win big, you got to play big. So I think you got to leave everything on the table, play the best cards you have for the rest of 2020, beginning 2021, and just go against everyone else. Because at the end of the day, I have a mentality that somebody else is working 24 hours to take me out of business. And it's either them or it's either me. That's my mentality. Someone is working to take me out of business. Whether I'm an agent or a company owner, that's my mentality. And I'll say that those agents that have that mentality that somebody else is working that farm and is going to take their business away, you got to go and do something better than whatever they're doing. And those are the agents that will succeed in 2020, 2021. Kill what you eat.
It's funny you say that because my coach always used to tell me successful entrepreneurs live in paranoia. You're always thinking about who's coming to get me. You're always thinking about what's going to change. And you're a step ahead of the game if you're living in paranoia. So I think it goes.
There is no rest. Even if you are doing well, man, it's like, what do I do next? The minute that I feel that I'm resting, then there is something wrong with me or my business. You cannot rest. I mean, look at this guy, the Amazon, what's his name?
Bezos.
Dude, look at this guy. He's already a billionaire, $171 billion. This guy is not resting. He's making the next move. It becomes an addiction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we ask for the wins of the week? Which, Andres, start thinking about it, because we like to finish off with a positive note and ask everybody what's their win for the week. It could be business, it could be personal. I think Amy raised her hand again, or whichever one is Amy.
Let's talk about especially now, the success mindset, because so many of us are thinking that we're poor, we're broke, but poor is a mindset. Broke is temporary. So how do you stay in that I'm successful, I'm going to survive this, like this is all temporary? What tips do you have about mindset and self-discipline?
I love that question.
Number one, I wake up every day broke. That's number one. I'm always broke, because the minute that you don't feel broke, then there is no motivation to go after the next goal. So broke, not in the mind, but broke like, hey, I got to make it big, right? And I think that when people reach a level of success and they make a little bit of money, they think they got it all. And that's when you slow down, you get in a comfort zone, and that's it. And then you have a pandemic that you're not expecting comes and wipes you out. So I think that when you are every day waking up with the mentality that whatever you have is not permanent, you got to, that's the fuel for you to keep pushing every day. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning, I don't believe in motivational speaking. I don't believe in motivation stuff. I think that's thanks to my wife. She is not the best motivational speaker. She's very like hardcore, and she will be like, are you going to be crying like a little bitch, or are you going to take action and do what you want to do? So that's kind of like the
I can tell by some of the faces on camera that they absolutely agree with you.
So my thing is, if I want to be here, what is it going to take for me to get there? What are the step by step? What's the process? And then getting to the point that was my first step that will lead me to my second and was holding me back. If nothing is holding me back, then let's jump, let's do it. And as you go, you're learning as you go through the process. So, you know, the mindset is like, look, we have two choices. You either go for it all the way, or you just, you know, stay at home and cry and whine. Nothing is going to get better. Nobody's going to do it for you. So
Right.
you got to put the effort, you got to put the time.
By the
You
way,
gotta-
does you and your wife work together?
She's actually supporting my business very, very much for the last 12 months. And I have to say that since she joined on this journey, we've been growing a lot the last 12 months. I mean, she's
Growing as a couple or as a company?
both ways, brother. Both ways. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like she's like my best friend. She's my buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've been growing a lot, and I think she's the brain of the business, and I'm just the face, you know, selling it. To be honest, I'm
So
a sales guy.
let's take it into our final segment, wins for the week. So I'd like as many of you to share as possible. Again, it doesn't have to be business; it could also be personal. So if anybody would like to kick us off, actually, Chuck, I'm gonna ask you to kick us off. What's your win for the week?
Did you hear that? She said amazing people working for you. You're so grateful. I'm always grateful for my team.
What are you drinking, bro?
Tequila.
No sherry?
Yeah, not that far away.
There you go. Pick up a bottle.
I'll say, you know, my win is not a big win. It's a really, really tiny win. That I get to see my dog. You guys see my dog on the screen over there, that Weimaraner?
There you go.
All right, that was a good time because Sabine just raised her hand. So I think let's go ahead and unmute. And here, Sabine, can you go ahead and unmute yourself?
Hi, everyone. So from Topanga with famous Stevie, but my win of the day is that he's here right in the show, and he was Chuck's dog before I got him, and he just wanted to be on the show today and say hi to everyone.
There you go.
Stevie!
So that's it, Chuck? No more doggy?
That's a loaded question. Any other wins, guys?
No, Bucky. See that?
All right, who else has a win for the week that would like to share with us before we get to you, Andres? All right,
There you go.
you're up, Andres. What do you got for us?
I think you guys need coffee or alcohol. One of the two, coffee or alcohol. Or a good client with great credit, huge down payment, full doc.
Or coffee with alcohol.
There you go. You can have both.
By the way, what we were talking about a couple minutes ago about working remotely, okay, I want to give a shout out to Liron Avraham, if you see her over here. She's working from Israel.
Oh, wow.
And she's killing it. She's part of the LA Fixers team, and we do transactions together, and all the way from Israel. That just goes to show you can.
Yeah,
really,
thanks to Liron, we can claim Rubbing Elbows is worldwide.
There you go. It's you know, there is no frontiers anymore, and thanks to technology, you can actually, you know, I was telling everyone a few weeks ago, if you really wanted to network nationwide, or even, you know, make these Zoom meetings international with United Kingdom, London, China, you name it, you can actually, you know, reach out to key players and schedule that once a month and just have like a powerhouse with people from all over the world networking and making money. Like, again, right now, the only limit we have is whatever we can actually process here.
Yeah.
That's it. Because you know, we have all the tools and resources to reach out to everyone anywhere. And all you got to do is just ask.
Yeah. Okay. If nobody wants to share their wins, we always want to respect everyone's time. We usually try to do 30, 40 minutes. So we're at the 45-minute mark. Or if you remember your win later, you're more than welcome to post a comment.
Andres was gonna share with us a win. What?
Oh yeah, go for it.
My win from this one was being able to network with you guys again, reconnect, and pause. You know, probably, hopefully, opening the door again to do business and make money together, collaborate, and bring more value to the table for everyone on this Zoom meeting and everyone that is watching on YouTube and Facebook Live. It's a networking event. Other than delivering value and content and knowledge is also networking. So this opens the door for my agents, your people, to collaborate and do business together.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being on here. I'd love to somehow get on like your newsletter or your company. You know how you guys have the company emails, reply all, or when you blast it all, to somehow get some of your fixers and some get
You're
some
buying?
opportunities.
Only if you're buying. If you're not buying, no, we don't mind.
I'm buying.
If you're buying and you're gonna spend some money with us, yes, then you can cover my costs.
Okay, beautiful. We'll talk about that on Friday.
Amy, get his name, get his email, bombard this guy with deals.
Which office are you in, Amy?
Woodland Hills.
Woodland Hills.
Awesome. Yeah, Chuck at lafixers.com. There it is. Chuck at lafixers. Okay. Thank you so much to everybody who's here, everybody who's gonna be here, everybody who's gonna watch this later, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. Thank you so much, whoever joined, for your questions, for your participation, for your contribution, for my two lovely ladies here.
Doc, I think you got to continue doing this and forget about fixing houses. I think you got potential.
Thank you.
Maybe you can have a radio show.
A radio show, huh? Okay. Think about it. You mean
He looks better on camera.
There you go.
All right. Thank you guys so much. And anything else, Lior?
No, thank you again. Thank you, Andres, for taking the time to join us. Thank you, everybody else, for joining us as usual. Every Thursday, 2 o'clock, we're going to try to keep bringing more and more value. We hope to see you guys again. And please share with your friends. Let them know so that our community can grow. The more we have, the more we can benefit from each other.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for the invite. And be safe out there. Don't get scared. Keep pushing. 2020 is still there, so you can still make good money and achieve, pretty good stuff in 2020. It's all about, the attitude.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. See you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you next
Thank you,
week.
guys.